Most people believe that eating small meals every few hours is the only way to keep blood sugar stable throughout the day.
But recent scientific research is starting to show that this constant grazing might be exactly what is making your insulin resistance worse.
In the next 10 minutes, we are going to look at the powerful metabolic shift that happens when you switch to one meal a day. We will explore how this style of eating can lower your A1C levels and potentially even reverse the track of type 2 diabetes. If you have ever felt like your blood sugar is a roller coaster you cannot get off, you need to see how the timing of your food changes everything.
Think about your body like a car with a very specific and somewhat sensitive type of fuel tank. Every time you eat, you are pulling up to the gas station to top off that tank with energy. If you eat 6 times a day, that gas pump is almost always running, and the tank never gets a chance to empty out. Eventually, that fuel has nowhere to go, so it starts spilling over the sides and causing a dangerous mess in the engine.
In your body, that spilled fuel is excess blood sugar and fat that your cells simply cannot handle anymore.
One meal a day, or OMAD, changes the rules of the game by letting that tank actually run low for once.
When you stop refueling every few hours, your body finally gets the chance to burn through the stored energy it has been holding on to for years. This is not just about weight loss or fitting into smaller clothes, it is about a total metabolic reset that changes how your cells talk to insulin. To understand why this works so well, we have to look at a very important hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as a tiny golden key that travels through your blood to your cells. Its job is to unlock the door of the cell so that sugar can enter and be used for energy. When you have insulin resistance, it is like the lock on that door has become rusty or jammed with old grease.
The key is there, and it is trying to turn, but the cell is completely ignoring the signal and staying locked tight.
Because the sugar cannot get into the cell, it stays in your blood, making your blood sugar levels skyrocket to dangerous heights. Your pancreas sees this high sugar and starts to panic, so it pumps out even more insulin to force the doors open by any means necessary. This creates a vicious cycle where your body is swimming in insulin, but your cells are still technically starving for energy.
Over time, your pancreas gets exhausted from working double shifts every single day without a break.
This is exactly the moment when prediabetes starts to turn into full-blown type 2 diabetes.
The main goal of doing OMAD is to fix that rusty lock and make your cells sensitive to insulin again.
When you go 18 to 23 hours without eating, your insulin levels drop to a very low and stable baseline.
This long break gives your cells a much-needed breather, allowing them to reset and become more responsive to the next signal.
Recent studies on pre-diabetic patients have shown that this type of fasting can improve insulin sensitivity by 20 to 30%.
That is a massive change that can happen without even changing the types of food you're eating, though quality still matters. By keeping insulin low for the majority of the day, you are essentially cleaning the rust and grease out of those locks. When you finally do eat your one meal, your body is primed and ready to handle the incoming nutrients efficiently.
This efficiency means you need less insulin to do the same amount of work, which takes the pressure off your organs.
Stability is the name of the whole game when it comes to long-term health and avoiding diabetes complications.
Most people experience a blood sugar spike every time they put a piece of food in their mouth.
If you eat breakfast, a mid-morning snack, lunch, an afternoon snack, and dinner, you are having 5 or 6 spikes every single day. Each of these spikes causes a small amount of damage to your blood vessels and your heart over time.
With OMAD, you are consolidating all of that metabolic activity into one single event.
You might see a larger spike after that one meal, but your body only has to deal with it once in a 24-hour period.
The rest of the time, your blood sugar stays in a calm, flat line, which is much easier for your body to manage.
Research shows that blood sugar often stabilizes much faster on a one-meal-a-day schedule compared to constant grazing.
If you have diabetes or prediabetes, you are probably very familiar with the HbA1c test. Doctors often call this your 3-month report card because it measures your average blood sugar over the last 90 days. A high A1C means that your blood was sugary enough to literally coat your red blood cells in a sticky, damaging glaze. A landmark review published in the journal Nutrients in 2022 looked at how fasting affects this specific number.
The researchers found that participants using intermittent fasting protocols saw their A1C drop by 0.5 to 1 full percent.
That might sound like a small number, but in the medical world, a 1% drop is absolutely life-changing.
It is often the difference between needing multiple medications and being able to manage your condition with lifestyle alone.
For someone with an A1C of 7%, dropping to 6% moves them out of the diabetic range entirely.
This is why so many doctors are starting to look at fasting as a legitimate clinical tool for metabolic health.
One of the most exciting parts of the OMAD lifestyle is something called the metabolic switch. For the first 12 hours after you eat, your body is mostly running on the sugar and glycogen from your last meal. Once that sugar is gone, your body has to make a choice. Either signal for more food or find another energy source.
Between the 12 and 16-hour mark of your fast, your body flips a switch to start burning stored body fat. This process produces ketones, which are a very clean-burning and efficient fuel for your brain and your heart.
More importantly, burning through that fat helps clear out the fat stored in your liver and around your other organs. Ectopic fat, which is fat stored where it should not be, is a primary driver of type 2 diabetes. By forcing your body to burn its own fat for 8 to 10 hours every day, you are attacking the root cause of the disease.
This is essentially cleaning out the engine of your car while the car is still running.
A fascinating study from 2019 compared people eating 1 meal a day to those eating 3 meals with the same total calories.
The group eating 1 meal saw significantly lower fasting glucose levels than the group eating 3 times.
This suggests that the timing of the food was just as important as the quantity or the calories of the food. Let us look at a real-world example of how this plays out in a clinical setting for a real person. Imagine a patient named Sarah who started her journey with an A1C of 8.2%. She was taking 2 different medications and still struggled with very high morning blood sugar every single day. After 8 weeks of transitioning to an OMAD lifestyle, her A1C dropped all the way to 6.8%. Her doctor was able to cut her medication dose in half because her body was finally doing the work on its own. This is not a miracle or magic. It is just biology responding to a different set of instructions and timing.
However, we have to talk about the very real risks, because OMAD is a powerful tool that must be used carefully.
If you are taking insulin or medications like sulfonylureas, your blood sugar could drop dangerously low during a fast. This condition, called hypoglycemia, can cause dizziness, confusion, or even fainting if you're not careful. You must work closely with your doctor to adjust your medication timing and dosage before you start fasting. Fasting while on these medications can be like slamming on the brakes while the car is already stopped. People with type 1 diabetes face a different challenge, as they are at a higher risk for a dangerous condition called ketoacidosis.
For these individuals, medical supervision is not just a suggestion, it is a strict requirement for safety. OMAD is also not recommended for women who are currently pregnant or breastfeeding, as they need a constant supply of nutrients.
If you have a history of eating disorders, the restrictive nature of 1 meal a day could trigger unhealthy patterns and thoughts.
Always listen to your body and remember that true health is a marathon, not a quick sprint to the finish line.
If you are ready to try this, do not jump into a 23-hour fast on your very first day.
That is a recipe for failure and will likely leave you feeling miserable and hungry. Start by simply stopping the late-night snacking and aiming for a 12-hour window without any food.
Slowly push that window to 14 hours, then 16, until you feel comfortable eating in a smaller window. When you do sit down for your one meal, it cannot just be a pile of fast food and sugary soda. You need to focus on what I call the big four: high-quality protein, healthy fats, plenty of fiber, and complex carbs. Protein keeps your muscles strong, fats keep you full, and fiber ensures your blood sugar rise is slow and steady. Think of fiber like a speed bump that slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Hydration is also critical during your fasting hours, so drink plenty of water and consider adding a pinch of sea salt for electrolytes.
Checking your blood sugar regularly with a meter is the only way to truly know how your body is responding to this change. Data is your best friend when you are making big changes to your metabolic health.
You might find that certain foods cause a huge spike even if you only eat them once a day. By tracking your numbers, you can fine-tune your one meal to give you the best possible results. Remember that every person's body is different, and what works for one person might not work for you. Be patient with yourself as you learn how to navigate this new way of eating.
The goal is to create a sustainable lifestyle that makes you feel energetic and healthy for years to come.
If you stay consistent, you might be surprised at how quickly your body can heal itself.
Now that you understand the science of blood sugar, check out this playlist for a deeper dive into mastering the OMAD lifestyle.